know, and then I started hearing things about Jews digging tunnels in New York City. And then you go on Twitter and you see this dude coming out of a sewer and you're like, what the hell's going on? Bro, the amount of comments I was getting on this crap. Not even just that, but bro, the conspiracies with this crap were freaking insane. And as someone that saw this whole entire thing escalate from before it went viral to pretty much the end, it was just a wild experience to witness. And I think I could do a lot of education right now. So freaking buckle up and listen to this story. I remember I was still living in Ohio and I got a random notification on WhatsApp. I look at my phone and I see this dude coming out of the sewer. This is before it went viral, right? This is like probably the night before. And I'm like, what? That's like the funniest thing ever. And then I start seeing like these clips of like walls being broken down and, you know, people like coming out of these walls and you're like, what the hell is going on? And I'm like, oh, that's funny. You know, just like a bunch of bored extremist guys freaking try to excavating a synagogue. Like very nice, right? Right, for some context, about 40 years ago, a man by the name of Menachem Mendel Schneerson, this man right here, he is the leader of the Chabad Hasidic sect of Judaism, which is the one that I'm a part of. Just a great, like, pure holy man, spread so much like light and positivity. And many years ago, he mentions that the main synagogue that all the Chabad Jews daven at, which is 770 Eastern Parkway, which is this building right here. This is just like the outer building. Right next to it is actually stairs which lead down to the main synagogue. This obviously there's gates here because this is the Jew tunnel time. But you can see right over here where my mouse is, that's like the main building. And then this is the entrance downstairs to like the main synagogue. And it's a huge synagogue. And this rabbi who we call the Rebbe pretty much said that eventually the building will have to be expanded because there's so many Jews joining the movement, you know what I'm saying? This was like back in the 80s, and since then there's been so many politics about if you should go through with expanding it or not, because the building is like owned by two different like organizations. There's a lot of politics with like the constructions of the building. Some people say that you should expand it, some say that you shouldn't. However, if you go there for holidays like I did this past year, like it is packed. It does need an expansion, happens to be, right? So what happens, right? You have these extremist Jews who, by the way, don't know English for starters. I don't even know how to describe them. They're like very third world-esque. Like they're just crazy individuals. And if you've been in 770 and you've met these people, you know the type of people. you know how they act. You know, they're crazy guys, right? And they're supposed to be there during the year to like learn Torah, and they obviously look a lot older than they are. But these guys like range between 19 to like 21, 22, even 23 sometimes, right? So these are like college age dudes, and they freaking decide, hold up, right next door in this building, in the basement, there's an old apartment of a family that used to live there. And down in that basement is also an old mikvah. The guy that lived there had his own personal mikvah. It was his own ritual bathhouse, right? And it was abandoned. And they realized that the abandoned mikvah is over here, and the main synagogue underground is over here. There's about 50 feet of dirt in between, right? So if you excavate all of that, if you dig through all of that, then you could connect the rooms and make one big massive synagogue, and we're all happy. Now, if you're a logical person, you'd think that this is a terrible idea. You can't just start digging. There needs to be a proper crew. There's like foundations. The thing could sink in, right? That's how logical people would think. But these are bored Jews who are crazy and extremists. So what do? Instead of learning Torah? Well, they freaking start digging. And digging, they do, right? This is like the mikvah over here. They're freaking like, you can see there's a bunch of dirt there because they're literally shoveling all the dirt like into the mikvah room because the dirt's got to go somewhere. They had like this whole operation. They had like this is probably the only actual tunnel that existed where it's like they'd shove the dirt through here. They had like a whole mechanism going on here. And no one knew about this, right? Because these guys don't speak English. They're very much like a separate group that isn't like, that sort of do their own thing. Because the synagogue is like this, such like an unofficial operation going on. It's so unorganized. Until eventually they freaking break through. They freaking break through to the main synagogue. That's what's going on there, right? a lot of people don't really know what's going on in this clip. So there wasn't even like an actual, there's one tunnel to like move dirt that was like 20 feet long, I believe. But it was mainly like an excavation going on underground, moving aside dirt to make just a bigger synagogue. Now this is incredibly stupid, and like everyone that's in Chabad like denounces this. This is idiotic. And pretty much everyone involved got arrested. Now that's all the context, right? Now, when I tell you, the internet went insane with this. Oh my goodness. When I first saw the clip of this dude leaving the freaking sewer, I was like, oh no. Bro, if this goes like on Twitter, this is gonna go so viral because it's so funny. And we're like never gonna hear the end of this. And about 12 hours later, I see it on Twitter. It's got like 50 million freaking impressions or something. And I'm like, oh no. The things people were saying, they were like, bro, there's underground Jew tunnels. And they pulled out like, there's a mattress in there that had like this stain on there. And bro, people were saying that it's like bloody mattresses. And I believe that the abandoned mikvah, I believe there is a stroller in the basement. So people, right, so when you see a picture of like a dirty mattress, a stroller, and a bunch of like dirt and like excavation, and people are like, are there like children down there? It's like, and like, if you know what's going on, you're like, no, that's like an abandoned apartment. That was like a guy's basement, right? He had kids. That was probably his stroller, right? And like you see like a mattress with a stain on it, and you're like, right? Obviously, all these Jew haters just instantly are gonna say it's blood, and it's like, no, those mattresses were freaking. The mattresses were freaking like on top of the dirt because they freaking like rest their knees on it while digging. They probably freaking had like parties in there. Like these guys, these are college-age guys. Like they're just bored and stupid. The thing is though, they look so much older than they are. They look like they're 30. So like, you know, you think that they'd be smarter. I'm 21 for reference. I look a lot older than I am, right? That's just how, it's just the beard, you know? Right, so you see the mattress come out and you see a freaking baby chair in there. And bro, not to mention, and this is what makes it look so bad. I'm gonna pull up Google Maps for this one, right? This will give like some better perspective here. This right here, this is 770. This is like the official building. This right here, this is like the synagogue underground. These two buildings are essentially one, you could call it. And down there is like the basement. It looks hella dark there, but like there's stairs down there which lead to the whole synagogue. But bro, right across the street, freaking right here, this building right here, Jewish Children's Museum, bro. You can't make this shit up, right? It's called the Children's Museum, but it's actually many things. It's also a wedding hall, right? There's like a dreidel there, right? I've been here many times for weddings, right? So that building's right there, and this is like where the weddings happen. But bro, it's a children's museum. So bro, you got these freaking like this hole, you got this mattress, and people were there calling it kid-size mattresses when freaking like, no, they're regular mattresses. They just don't understand that freaking how cheap the mattresses are in these schools we go to. And you got like a baby chair in an abandoned freaking basement. And instantly, without looking into any other research, like, oh, let's like try to figure things out here, everyone is instantly saying the Jews are sex trafficking children underground in Brooklyn. Like that's what's going on here. And I'm like, what are you talking about? What are we doing? I'm like, no guys, you don't understand. Like it looks, I guess I could understand how like out of context that looks pretty weird, but like this is just like a church museum, and like we got into this marriage there, and freaking this like they're just trying to make the synagogue connected and like one big synagogue. And also like, let's think logically for a second, right? Like I'm not a sex trafficker. What? Okay, I'm sorry, but like, do you really think that it makes sense? Please explain how it makes sense to traffic children. This is so terrible. From this building, okay, what the? Oh, now we're inside now. Jesus Christ. You see how packed it is? Bro, yeah, they need to expand this shit, bro. Like, explain how it makes sense to traffic people from the Children's Museum 50 feet across the street to the busiest synagogue in Brooklyn. Like, you really think that's like a smart operation? Now, these are crazy hypotheticals, I know, but like, just think logically for a second. Like, you're like, why would you traffic someone 50, like, why are you trafficking them 50 feet? Okay, maybe that was like a terrible argument, but you see what I'm saying? Like, the whole thing's just like ridiculous. And what's crazy was like, I was seeing it unfold in real time. I was like, okay, cause bro, I knew of some of the people that were involved in that shit. They're not my friends. I know someone personally though, who freaking his entire class, they got kicked out because of this shit. He didn't though, because he wasn't digging tunnels. But he said all of his other guys, they were involved and they got kicked out. People are like, oh, no one served repercussions. Hell yeah, they did. And freaking everyone in the Chabad movement was against this. All these guys got arrested and they instantly like resealed everything. But the internet was going crazy with this crap. I mean, and for good reason. I mean, yeah, like, oh, this guy's bringing it up again. I mean, you see this video of a dude coming out of this shit. You're like, bro, like this is hilarious, but what's going on? And this is very important to explain, by the way. This had zero connection to the official excavation. Basically, They heard that the cops were coming and that their plans have been foiled, because they freaking found out that they were doing this project. And I believe in that mikvah room, there's like this grate that's sort of like an exit. Like this guy knew, because they were probably digging there every day, that there's an exit from that room through the freaking grates to outside. So this guy's like, oh shoot, the cops are coming. There's only one place to escape, quick, to the Jew cave, you know? And he freaking comes out of there, and somehow he fits perfectly. And then he just like runs away, and then like off he freaking shoves the camera and off to the sunset. So this made it look like there's like another Jew tunnel, but this is just like some random grate that was connected, and they sealed that crap up too. And you see like the guys got arrested. People are like, there's no repercussions. What happened to you see these guys like a year later, look at this, stained mattresses, baby high chairs were found inside a year later, no conclusions. This seems to be slipping into the memory hole of time we'll never forget. And it's like, bro, like if you did some research, you know that maybe there was like some simple explanations and they weren't actually trafficking children, you know? But people like to assume the worst. And bro, like this will forever have a terrible like taint on the Chabad movement, because the Chabad movement is such like a powerful, uplifting movement. It's such a positive movement that I'm proud to be a part of. And this shit was like so many people's first introduction to it, and it's just the most like embarrassing thing. These freaking extremist guys just ruined everything. Oh, here are the students right here. They are held accountable. Once you look at that, I mean, don't these guys look like extremists? I mean, come on. But I could understand from an outside perspective how it does look weird. But yeah, like if you're not in the scene and involved, like I literally knew people that were like in that whole scene. I was calling them the day of. I'm like, bro, what's going on? And the answers were simple, but yeah, no one online really gave a proper explanation for it. So I'm glad that I sort of could, I guess, give it some good clarification right now. And I actually have a whole podcast on this that I did like a year ago with my brother. So I'll leave that linked in the description if you want to check that out. It's like an hour long. I go very in depth into it. It was literally right when it was happening. This will forever just have a terrible impact on them. I'm just like, so whatever, but... And now people will forever say Jew tunnel, when there weren't even like Jew tunnels. Like there was one 20-foot tunnel, like that was it. And it's just crazy to see how far things go. But it is funny, so I give them that. But I appreciate you guys for watching. Hopefully you found this entertaining as well as educational. Please follow my Twitch, the top link in the description, if you want to see me do this type of stuff live. And let me know in the comments what type of stuff you want to see me make next. Smash like, subscribe. Literally, God bless.